Wonders of Thetis. I'm wondering where I'm getting a limestone. Limestone or infinite flasks? Who's this? Prince of Red Jenny. No. North Noble Tavern. Ah, shit. Where's that? Ah, no, not this world map. Okay. I'm definitely going to Redcliffe next. The thing is, we probably have to do a few side missions. As far as I can tell, there's 3 major areas still. The Redcliffe, the Brazilian Alps forest, and then Denerim. Not quite sure what the big thing here is. We need more shopkeepers. Surely someone is selling the retarded. Livestone and flasks. Livestone would be more appreciated at this point, though. Flask is something we can.
That woman's wearing. Is she drunk, or does she just have bad taste?
Yeah, it's. I'd like to get the Orzammar. Be complete now. It's bothering me a little bit. If not, I guess we can do a few minor things here and then go to the camp chat and then head to Redcliffe. Crimson ores.
All the news is troubling these days. When will the war end?
What can I get you, stranger?
So what do you have?
Right, I'll show you around.
And you don't have the stone either. Potent lyrium can be sold for 1 gold, 25 silver. That's at least. Someone might buy it for more money. But I doubt that. I'm guessing that's the... I have to be able to produce it under this cost. No, these are my items. This has everything. Concentrated distillation and flasks. Well, flasks are definitely the cheapest. Only 1 silver. Ah, shit. Okay. That's the cost of what we can sell a potion. Okay. I think we need... The cost will be closer to a gold, no matter how I look at it. So we're not... there's not a huge amount of profit in this per unit basis. It's definitely quantity if you want to make money out of this. I need to see the recipe.
Your wish?
Potent lyrium. So 1 flask, 2 distillation, 2 concentration.
What can I get you, stranger? Right, I'll...
Yeah, 2 of both, so 4 lyrium. Hmm. So anything useful? No. That would be our money issues right there. We can't do the Orzammar thing, definitely not. What's the price of lyrium? Surely someone is selling a
What can I
single
get you,
unit.
stranger? Right.
Single unit of lyrium. I just need to get a idea of the cost. I have to be sure beforehand that there's some, at least a minor profit in this. I'm certainly not gonna buy a huge amount of ingredients otherwise. 8 apprentice.
You're back. You need some... Oh, yeah.
No lyrium for... Well, the mages... mages shop here surely has lyrium for sale. Even if there's not a lot of it. A single unit or two to just take the price point. I guess I could deduce it from the value of the item, but I'd like to be sure. Yeah, it's 3, so... Okay. It's about 20 silver per potion of profit. It's... you can pretty much make about 100 of those though. So in a single in a single batch. So it's still closer to 20 gold profit every time you do it. But it also costs quite a bit of money to do that. So the 100 gold is definitely warranted before we can do this properly. And I think we pretty much have exactly what we need for that. I'm not quite sure what's the most efficient way to do this though. The tavern seems to have everything else but the lyrium, so that's a great place to do this. I think we can only carry 99 and at maximum.
What can I get you, stranger? Right. I'll show you around.
I don't think there's going to be another stack of 99. I think you simply can't have more. I could be wrong about that, but that's easily testable. Flasks are the cheapest. We have single flask. Let's buy 99 more, see what happens. Okay. It comes to us a different stack. That's very good to know. We can... 99 is our limit though. Yeah, pretty much take 99, take 99. Lyrium isn't all that expensive, is it? No. Okay. The larger initial cash supply you have, the faster you can make the money. It's actually slowest at the beginning, but if you can... I can't change the party here. It doesn't really matter, I need to go get more Lyrian anyway.
Alright.
But as much money as possible, that's the key. Let me bypass this.
Will you stop eating?
Let's listen.
I'm hungry.
Stuff your face at camp. For now, watch the bloody road.
Now, I'm going to keep on listening. We have the option to rush them or leave and evade their traps. I'm listening.
But we've been looking at the road for hours. No travelers all day.
Will one of you pay attention?
Hey, who's that?
Something. I'll get on.
Yeah, these are trash.
Try not to look too incompetent. It's embarrassing.
On your guard, friend. Let's see some.
They just aren't doing any damage to us.
Come and get it.
Alright. Yeah! This'll be... Now's better than later.
I think I want to avoid doing the... Shit, fighting continues.
What's in horror as I rip you apart? Yeah!
What? Why are you dying? There's normal bandits there.
Prepare to be crushed.
Everyone's so sucking here.
Have at you!
Well, Shale is doing just fine.
That's right. Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back? Someone's gonna walk, and it sure won't be me.
Maybe she walked into a trap. Got as loaded bits. Where is she anyway?
I'll get on it.
I'll do it.
You just aren't good enough.
Right away.
Yeah, I think I was saying I don't think I'll be doing the crafting money creating for too much at the moment. The thing is, it'll become more efficient and effective the more money we have. And at the moment, we barely have enough cash to
Trap right ahead. As you like.
get 99 unit stacks on each of them.
Yes, of course.
That's great. Each of the items. So it'll take quite a long time to generate enough of a pool so we can generate enough money. I will be doing it a little. I want maybe a couple of books. They cost about 15 gold. So each time we get a
Trap right ahead.
stack of 99, we can get a new book. I haven't noticed any specialization books that I would want though. I guess that was mostly it. Bandit camp, fences, 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 fences. I think we should be able to get Templar now. We talked to Alistair.
You really killed. I'm sure you need supply.
240. 240? Really? Hmm. Yeah, it's actually a bit cheaper than if we would have bought it there. It won't make a huge difference. Still. Yeah, I thought lyrium would have end up being more costly. Here's the thing. What we basically want is just lyrium. We can... all the other ingredients can be found without any trouble at the inn there. So if we just have enough lyrium, we can get a nice stack of money right out of this. Yeah, because this is the only ingredient we're missing there. So maybe it's a bit easier than I thought. Where's my lyrium? It's quite a bit of lyrium dust right there. And it's really our last stack. No, it won't. This will be it. So I'm going to do this once. Because we got so much of those. Ah, shit. What is it this time? A trap.
Concentrate, like we practiced. Now, fire!
No. Ah.
I'll get on.
Please don't come here. Nice attack damage there.
They're gonna regret this. I love how desperate you are. You're pathetic.
Nice to see someone else fighting these.
I'm taking these apprentices to Redcliffe. The first enchanter says you need every able-bodied mage for the war. They're young, but capable enough, as you saw.
No complaints from me. We still need to change the party. Can I do it now? Of course not.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Alistair.
Yes.
Your wish?
I wish we would go to a merchant and get rid of some crap. We need more inventory space.
You're back. You need something? Oh, yes.
Harrowmont staff. Well, this isn't all that great. Lesser ice. No, there's nothing truly useful. So we could get rid of some of the gems. Yeah, that's enough free space for us. Okay. Just saving in case something unexpected happens that I wasn't aware of. I don't really foresee at least a problem, but you never know. No. First things first, how many potent lyriums do we have? 2. So after this we should have 101. But we don't really have, naturally we don't have quite this many. We can make closer to, what, about 100 coins profits in all of this in the long run. Crafty. Yeah, definitely have the room.
What can I get you, stranger? Right. What can I get you, stranger? Right, I'll show you.
Okay. Well, 121 gold again. Yeah, it takes quite a lot of initial capital to get through this. I don't. Yeah, if we would have gotten things a bit earlier, it wouldn't have made much of a difference because we couldn't afford to do anything anyway. So. Whatever, we'll leave things here. We're still left with quite a lot of plebeian dust though. We do want to get rid of that, so...
What can I get you, stranger? Right.
Wait, why is the price here 550? Yeah, it's 550 for a single bottle, 533. There's definitely something wrong with that stack. This is acceptable.
What can I get you, stranger?
It's not a fast or great way to make money, not like this. You need a huge amount of initial investment capital to get anything great out of this. Let's go with that. We still haven't used up everything we had. We have more potent lyrium potions than we started with, and we made about what, 30 gold profit. So it's not... You'd have to have a lot of inventory space free. Just go buy huge amount of lyrium dust and then come here and do this crap. It's exactly what I intend to do sooner or later. But yeah, this will be for now. At least now I've confirmed this works just fine. And I certainly want to... I don't think I want to buy things yet. Because I'll do the money gathering and the buying after we finish Red Cliff. Because we need a lot of initial cash to make this work in any kind of sensible manner. I don't intend to spend a huge amount of time on this, but we do need to buy quite a lot of stuff so we can get things rolling. I also have to have a lot of more inventory space free. But I'm mainly happy with this.
Dwarven crafts. Fine dwarven crafts. Direct from Orzammar.
We'll probably also do a lot of the minor quests too, because the reward from those is mostly money. Might as well.
As there is but one world,
Maybe we should do
life,
that now.
one death, there is but one God, and He is our Maker. They are sinners who have given their...
Burn of Sacred Ashes. Could do this. As well as some of the others, but a lot of them require me to go to areas I haven't really been in. A lot of the optional areas. We might as well. It'll take some of its own time to do that. I'm going to get back to the camp now, chat with our companions and prepare to go to the Red Cliff. After Red Cliff, then we'll do most of the optional content available. We could do Soldier's Peak too, that's a DLC area. It's additional equipment, I guess, and some history of the Grey Warnings. Yeah, party camp. I don't want to talk to Stan. I don't see him contributing anything really useful. He's sort of amusing, but in a way, fish out of water type of way. He's in a totally different society, functions by different rules, so he's has troubles adjusting. He doesn't want to adjust, but trouble understanding. We could talk to Bodain Feddic too. Ah shit, we could. It's a lot of optional quests we have now because we have Morgan's mother to Flemet's hut. Yeah. I'll do the Red Cliff now. After Red Cliff, we're going to dedicate ourselves to doing the secondary jobs. All the companion quests and things like that. To the extent that we possibly can. It'll still leave at least dinner in partly and the Brazilian forest. We'll probably get additional quests from here and here naturally, but the main quests will be left unfinished. I'm not leveling up anything until I get a second specialization. There simply isn't anything that interesting for me. I'll change my mind if I hit a wall where I can't proceed. I can't see that happening. Chat. Alistair has to come with us to the Earl. That's Earl Eamon. That's not an option. So let's talk to Alistair. We have gifts unused. Yeah, Black Runestone is probably for Alistair. The white one was for him.
Is that for me? Really? Wow! Wow!
Silver bar is probably for our assassin. The gold bar was for him, so...
You have excellent taste.
Excellent taste indeed. So, what about a totem? Small wooden totem with figures of demons and other strange beasts carved into it. Or a simple holy symbol made of etched silver. Holy symbol I would assume would be for Liliana. Her affection is very high though, so I'm not sure is this worth it.
Oh, how dear of you.
I definitely would for
Thank
her.
you so much.
What about the totem? I'd have to say Morrigan or Alistair. Morrigan because she might be into that totem type of crap. Alistair because every random item that I don't have a use for seems to be for him. It could be a generic item, I suppose, but I don't know. I don't know.
Interesting.
It's definitely not for her. Alistair then. If not for Alistair, I honestly wouldn't know.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice.
Definitely not Alistair. So who the hell would want a totem? Win? Does it really matter? It's a single point, or maybe something like 3 to 4 points. We get it to the correct guy. Yeah, I'm giving it to Zevran just because he's bad. His approval is so bad.
How nice.
Yeah, that's fine. Gifts are given. Let's talk. Alistair.
Something on your mind? Of course.
What changes about you after the joining?
You mean other than becoming a Grey Warden?
I mean, what changes physically?
You know, I asked Duncan this too, and all I got was, "You'll see."
He wouldn't tell you?
Oh, it's not that Duncan wants to keep it a secret, it's just that the Grey Wardens don't discuss it much. I gather it's not a pleasant topic. The first change I noticed was an increase in appetite. I used to get up in the middle of the night and raid the castle larder. I thought I was starving. I'd slurp down every dinner like it was my last. My face all covered in gravy. When I'd look up, the other Grey Wardens would stare, then laugh themselves to tears.
Haven't felt anything like that.
Really? I saw you eating dinner the other day. Savage.
Yes, well...
Ah yes, the classy camaraderie of two men traveling out in the open. I take it you were like this before the joining, then. Oh, and then there were the nightmares. Duncan said it was part of how we sense the Darkspawn. We tap into their, well, I don't know what you'd call it, their group mind. And when we sleep, it's even worse. You learn to block it out after a while, but at first it's hard. It's supposed to be worse for those who join during a blight. How is it for you?
I've had some strange dreams.
Some people never have much trouble, but that's rare. Others have trouble sleeping their entire life. They're just more sensitive, I suppose. Everyone ends up the same, though. Once you reach a certain age, the real nightmares come. That's how a Grey Warden knows his time has come.
What are you talking about?
Oh, that's right. We never had time to tell you that part, did we? Well, in addition to all the other wonderful things about being a Grey Warden, you don't need to worry about dying from old age. You've got 30 years to live, give or take. The taint, it's a death sentence. Ultimately, your body won't be able to take it. When the time comes, most Grey Wardens go to Orzammar and die in battle rather than waiting. It's tradition.
Why Orzammar?
You'll always find Darkspawn down where the dwarves are. The oldest Grey Wardens head to the deep roads for one last glorious battle. Not that there's a shortage of Darkspawn during a blight, but that's the tradition. The dwarves respect us for it. And you wondered why we kept the joining a secret from the new recruits. And there you have it.
Yeah. I feel betrayed. This is wrong. Yeah. It's a high price to pay.
I suppose it is. We're the only ones who can stop the blight, however. Is there a price too high to pay for that? You know, Duncan, he started having the nightmares again. He told me that in private. He said it wouldn't be long before he'd go to Orzammar himself. I guess he got what he wanted. I just wish it had been something worthy of him.
Actually, that makes me feel a little bit better about what happened to him. It's a shitty way to go, but at least for him personally, one place of dying against fighting against the Darkspawn is good as another. Yeah. We have a few options. Especially, it seems to be just me showing off my how I view all these things. Show respect, or yeah, he got what he deserved, or be a total prick about them. Surely, even if I thought that, I wouldn't say that in front directly to Alistair's face. Oh, because I know he'll just disapprove, so he will be remembered, as will the others.
I know. Ending the blight should make this all worthwhile, right?
Zevran approves. Why? That's probably because I gave him the gift.
Something on your mind? Of course.
What was it like to be a Grey Warden with all the others?
I didn't know them for very long, but I guess it was longer than you. You never met them all, did you? They were quite a group. Actually, they felt like an extended family, since we were all cut off from our former lives. We also laughed more than you'd think. There was this one time Well, you probably don't want to hear stories about men you didn't know.
I'd like to hear more about them.
There was one Grey Warden who came all the way from the Anderfels. What was his name? Gregor. He was a burly man with the biggest, fuzziest beard you've ever seen. And the man could drink. He drank all the time, but he never got drunk. Finally, we all made a pool to see just how many pints it would take to put him under the table.
Sounds like you had a lot of fun.
Sometimes. We were kin of a sort. All of us had gone through the joining, so we knew... Well, anyhow. It doesn't have to be deadly serious all the time. Anyhow, we never did find out. He said he'd drink a pint for every half pint that the rest of us drank. He was still going by the time the rest of us were passed out. I'm told that Duncan walked in later on and saw us all passed out from one end of the hall to the other, and Gregor still drinking. Duncan laughed until he nearly... Until...
A lot of people have died, Alistair, and a lot more will. I'm not going to be too hard on him on this account, but it's going to have to get a grape sooner or later. So this must be hard for you.
Yes, I suppose so. I thought I was done with this, but it just struck me that I have nothing to remember Duncan by. Nothing at all. There's no body, not even a token of his that I could take with me. That must sound really stupid to you.
Not really.
I just would have liked something of his to take with me, that's all. Well, there's no use in moaning about it, is there? He's gone. Let's just go. I'm wondering something. I'd like to know your thoughts about some of our traveling companions. Do you mind if I ask?
Go ahead.
How about Ogren? You must have an opinion on the smell, at the very least.
He's a fine warrior.
Yeah, that's what I thought you'd say. For a drunk, he's an excellent warrior, right? How he lifts his sword is a bit of a mystery. Though I suppose the point is that he does lift it. And so long as we can point him in the right direction, he charges too. He has gusto, I'll give him that. Zevran, the elf. You can't trust him, can you? Do you believe his so-called vow?
Maybe. We'll see.
That's a lot to put on a maybe, isn't it? He's an assassin. The crows aren't known for giving up. Maybe he's just biding his time.
We'll see. I'm willing to give him a chance.
Well, if you are, then maybe I should too. But that doesn't mean I won't keep an eye on him. He's just too shifty. What about Sten? The way he looks at me with those eyes. Creepy. And he's so quiet for someone so big.
I sort of agree. The Qunari are unsettling.
Yet he doesn't seem quite so bad as the Chantry tells us. According to them, his philosophy is vile and evil. Yet he seems so reasonable. And yet, he killed all those people. He doesn't even deny it. Doesn't that bother you?
He seems to regret what he did.
I'm not so sure that his regret means the same as it would for us. The Qunari sense of honor is a bit hard to grasp. For me, anyway. What about Liliana? Is she crazy? Or do you really believe in her vision?
I believe that she believes. I suppose it could be true. Her story wasn't exactly all that fantastical. It was, she saw a dream that could be interpreted to taking that the blight was coming, and then she noticed, was it some kind of flower bush that was presumed to be dead, and there was a flower there. So it wasn't, and she took that to be a sign. It's not like something all that wondrous happened. That all that mystical happened. A flower bush bloomed. Yeah, I believe that she believes.
That's one way to put it. I noticed that you and her have become close. Am I right? The rest of us have talked about it.
You talk about us?
You think we have better things to do than gossip about you? You give us far too much credit. Is it true or not?
I suppose yes.
I thought so. Well, I hope you know what you're doing. I don't know what to make of her. If you look at her when she doesn't see you, she just looks so sad. I almost feel guilty taking her away from her life.
Yeah, I don't. This is good for her.
Good for you, maybe. Her? I'm not so sure about. Morrigan. Do you trust her? Think about it. Maybe Flemeth sent her with us for some other reason than she said.
I think you're probably right.
And you're just going to let her follow us around? A Maleficar and make her knows what else?
I don't think it's not like I think she's trying to prevent us from dealing with the Darkspawn. I just think that's not all she's here for. Yep, that's right. Well, I don't have to like her, she's useful.
That's the most sensible thing I've heard out of you yet. Just remember that she's dangerous too, and evil, and mean. Enough. I think my curiosity is sated. Let's get back to it, shall we?
Anything more?
Something on your mind? Of course.
Okay, I think that's it. Can you teach others to be a Templar?
Sure, I could. I could even teach you, I suppose. Anyone who's been trained as a warrior. I guess if I'm going to give up Chantry secrets, I may as well go all the way. Send whoever you want trained to me in camp, and I'll see what I can do.
Yay! Specialization unlocked. Okay. I think that's for it for Alistair for the moment. Anyone else? Probably Liliana.
I enjoy the nights at camp. The night always seems more peaceful to me, safer.
The options are, none of them are really bad. Okay, I know what you mean.
I feel the night grants us a reprieve from the troubles of the day. Silly, isn't it? The Darkspawn never sleep. and they lurk in the shadows.
I don't think it is not silly to seek moments to lay down your burdens.
I enjoy those nights when we stand guard together, talking to pass the time in those small hours. Well, I talk and you listen mostly. Sometimes I succumb and fall asleep and wake to find you still watchful. And I know you're watching out for me.
Hmm. Oh, okay. I do want to move the romance with Liliana forward, so I'm going to choose options that I think at least might be pushing that way, so you never have to feel afraid with me.
What I'm trying to say is that I trust you. I'm comfortable around you. I know you'll be there when I need you. You are our leader and my friend, and sometimes I think that maybe we could be more than that. Maker, look at me stumbling over my words like an ill-educated peasant girl. Some bard I am.
Hmm. You're cute when you're embarrassed, or... Yep, you're cute when you're embarrassed.
I'm not embarrassed. I'm just flushed because of the heat.
Okay, I always wanted us to be more than just friends.
Really? No one told me. You felt the same way and didn't do me the courtesy of informing me? You made me say all those things. Why couldn't you have said them first? Oh, you... Oh, how very awkward.
I thought you were comfortable around me.
Well, yes, but don't question me. I am a woman, and I reserve the right to be inconsistent. Oh, chivalry is so dead, making the lady spill her guts like that.
Yeah, I'll try to kiss her.
Well, that settles it then.
Okay, what's the approval rating now? I think it's fairly high. Okay, 83. I don't think we have to worry about Liliana's approval, but we do have to support her in whatever she feels is necessary for her to do in her own quest. Anything else?
The stars are out.
Hmm. Yeah, there's still beauty to be found in this world.
It comforts me to know that the stars will remain untouched by the blight. That whatever happens down here, they will shine eternally. Their light undimmed. There is a story about that cluster of stars over there. Do you know it? Elindra and her soldier?
Can't say I've heard it.
A long time ago, there lived a fair maiden called Elindra. She had many suitors, but spurned them all, for she did not love them. One day, Elindra was sitting by her window in her father's castle, singing and dreaming, when her lovely voice caught the attention of a young soldier. Entranced by her song, the soldier drew near to Elindra's window. As their eyes met, he fell in love with her, and she with him. When Elindra told her father about the man she had chosen, he was furious, for Elindra was high-born, but her love nothing more than a common soldier. To keep them apart, he had Elindra imprisoned in the highest tower of his castle and sent her soldier to the wars. Alas, not a month had passed before news of the soldier's death reached Elindra. Alone in her tower, Elindra wept for her love and beseeched the gods to deliver her from this cruel world. So earnest was her plea that the gods themselves were moved. They gathered Elindra into their arms and lifted her high into the heavens, where she became a star. The gods also raised up the soul of Elindra's soldier love, and there he dwells, across the horizon from her. The band of stars between them is a river of Elindra's tears, cried for her lost love. They say that when Elindra has cried enough, she will be able to cross the river to be reunited with her soldier.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story.
This story is one of my favorites. A tale of a love so great and so enduring that it defies death and moves the gods to action. Sometimes I ask myself, does such a love exist? Can it exist?
I certainly don't want to dismiss her ideas. So I mean, I don't want to try to argue her about this. It may be wishful thinking, but there's no harm in allowing her to think that. Certainly, I don't want to start arguing about such things. If we lose hope in love, then we are truly lost. Maybe... no, that sounds like horse crap. Let's say maybe they exist, but there should not every love is like that. Let's say few loves are so powerful.
I think I would be lucky to experience an emotion even half as pure and true as Elindra's love.
We should all be so lucky.
The world gets lonely too quickly if there is no one to share it with.
Anything else?
I'm here for you.
Excellent.
Of course.
Okay. What will you do when this is all over?
I have not given this a lot of thought. What will I do? We've traveled far and wide. Does it need to end?
I would like to see the world too.
There's so much out there. Adventures to be had and stories to be told. I want to be part of it all. I might need some company. And you're not too irritating. You're welcome to come along if you like.
Yep, I'd love to.
It is settled then. You and I wandering the world, seeking our fortunes. I can't wait. I'm here for you. Of course.
Okay, about us.
Wait, you want to talk about us? Is there something bothering you?
Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. Or you are the best thing that ever happened to me. Okay, there's not really an option here. If you're... this is basically you want to cut it or you want to move it forward. That's how I see it. So, you're the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Really? You think so? You're so sweet.
So that didn't lead to anything, probably. I think that's pretty much with Liliana so far.
I'm here for you.
Yeah. Who's the third person we're gonna take with us? Probably Win again. It has to be Liliana because she's pretty much the only one who can do the lockpicking thing. Although I haven't checked Zevron's abilities, to be honest. Oh yeah, he's an assassin, he sucks at this. And Liliana isn't exactly a master to begin with either, but she's a lot better. So, should we take someone else besides Win? We don't take Win, we don't have a healer, and that's going to be a huge problem. So, Alistair, Liliana, and Win. Let's see if Win has something to say.
Oh, it's been a long day. Rest would be welcome.
Are you alright?
Yes, of course. I am just a little weary. As you may have noticed, I'm no spring chicken.
There's still some life in those old bones, I bet. No, you're very sprightly for your age, though.
Thank you. You're very kind to say so. But in all honesty, I do not know how many years I have left in me. I have lived for such a long time, but there is always something else to do. And I have to keep going in order to do it. I think I will be glad when I am done.
I'm sure I'll be kicking around for years yet.
Oh, I don't know. I really don't. Have you encountered many abominations, apart from the ones in the Circle Tower?
No, the ones in the tower were the first I've ever seen.
The first time I saw an abomination, my blood turned to ice. It was months before the nightmares stopped. It was the knowledge that I could easily become one of them that frightened me the most.
Seeing the monster that you could be is unsettling, yes.
One slip. All it takes is one slip, and everything you are is simply gone. Replaced by madness. And there is no turning back. Or at least that's what they say.
Have you doubts?
Of late, I have begun to wonder if there is any way an abomination can be cured. Or if a mage could be so possessed and still retain their sanity, their humanity.
Okay, we could question Win about why she's bothered by this. I think I'll rather answer her. If one retains one's humanity, one is not an abomination.
Yes, it is madness and cruelty that define abominations. If those are lacking, if the mage remembers the person they truly are, then they are not an abomination. I never saw that. Thank you for showing me another way of looking at it.
Yeah, Win. Something to tell me.
You're quite taken with each other, aren't you?
You know about Liliana and me.
I've seen the way she looks at you, the familiarity with which you speak, how she always finds a way to place herself next to you.
I like being with Liliana.
I've noticed your blossoming relationship, and I wanted to ask you where you thought it was going. Liliana is a remarkable girl, sincere and guileless, and she has opened her heart to you. I would not like to see her hurt.
I don't really have any ulterior motives towards Liliana. I genuinely like her. As she could be, I guess, taken for religious person who's I mean that in the sense that maybe too religious. I mean, believes in miracles, God is talking to her, that sort of thing. But I've not seen any indication that she doesn't have her feet on the ground. She believes that, but she doesn't elevate her value above others because of that. She just basically thinks that she's had a message from the Maker, and that's it. And that's directs her to do good things. I don't particularly see any problem with that. And besides that, she's fairly normal. A woman with a dark past, certainly. So that's going to have to be resolved one way or another sooner or later. Otherwise, I don't think she can really move forward. But I enjoy her. It's not like I've planned for family and children or anything like that. I have no ulterior motives. I don't want to hurt or use her. What about me? Not worried about me getting hurt.
I am worried about you both. There is great potential for tragedy here. Love is ultimately selfish. It demands that one be devoted to a single person who may fully occupy one's mind and heart to the exclusion of all else. A Grey Warden cannot afford to be selfish. You may be forced to make a choice between saving your love and saving everyone else. And then what would you do?
What choice? I mean, describe a realistic situation where that could be happening. I don't think Liliana would want me to... I think you're making things sound more dire than they are.
Nothing is certain. Not in these times. You cannot take anything for granted. I want you to be aware of this.
I'll be diplomatic about this. I'll consider what you have said. I don't think she wants me to break up with her or anything. I think her intention is basically highlight the issue, so I can think about it beforehand. If such a situation would arise later, I would be basically would have thought it through, and I would know what I'm going to choose. I can't see a realistic situation where that choice would ever happen, but in such situation where I would have to choose between Liliana and saving everyone else, I don't think Liliana would forgive me if I would choose her over everyone else. I mean, if it really meant everyone else is guaranteed to be screwed if I save her, and I can't see what situation like that could possibly even be. I just don't see. I think she's creating a theoretical problem that doesn't exist, but I'll consider what you have said.
I am just trying to minimize the suffering that may come to either of you. I have given my advice. Do with it what you will.
I don't really see why Wynne is so concerned enough to mention that even. I mean, even everyday people have relationships, and they do know how to handle other responsibilities with responsibilities toward their loved ones. societies are built around the fact that you have such connections. They don't put you at odds, or very not intentionally at least. So, and I don't really see what her theoretical situation could possibly be. So I think she's worried over nothing.
What's on your mind?
Are you feeling better now?
Oh, yes, and thank you for asking. I'm feeling much better today.
Please let me know if there's anything I can do.
Well, thank you for your kindness, my dear. It certainly warms these rickety old bones.
It bothers me. Wynn doesn't look that old. She's a middle-aged woman with grey hair. She doesn't look... She's talking like she's gonna die any moment out of old age, but she doesn't look the part.
What's on your mind?
You have to keep in mind, this isn't exactly an age of cosmetics, so see, she's still quite wrinkle-free. So she can't be that old. Okay. Let's talk to her about being a Grey Warden.
Is something troubling you?
No, but I'm trying to get approval from you, so I need to talk about these things for some reason. I mean, yes. I don't know. It's just difficult sometimes. Is it? Not really. I think it was the best thing that happened to me.
You are one of the 2 surviving Grey Wardens in Ferelden. You defend all of us, and much rests on your shoulders. It may not mean much to you, but thank you for having the courage to continue to fight.
This kind of a setting would have been... I guess I wondered why they didn't choose for more interesting romance options. For example, if you have... I think there are Leliana, Morrigan, Alistair, and the Assassin. But why wouldn't you go for Ogren, Wynn, Sten, for example? I mean, they're really... The romances they chose, except for the male elf, are very... They're very uninteresting. They're not terrible in any sense, but a relationship with a drunken dwarf might have been, I mean, constantly drunken and picking fights dwarf might have been interesting. Because you could have done with something entertaining with that. You don't have to have a very typical romance with that. Other might be Wynn, a sort of a more elderly woman, and especially with her, what's going on with her might have been interesting. Stan might have been interesting too, because he's totally alien in culture and thinking. So with them, there would have been sort of more interesting things where things can go. To maybe places or unfold in ways that you don't see in every goddamn game that has a romance, unlike these. So that's why I sort of don't like these. It's not like they're bad or badly made, it's that I walked down this path so many times, I'm sick of it. It does nothing for me anymore. So I would have wanted to see something more interesting. Not just some crazy character you have to have an option to romance with, but just just maybe a relationship or a romance path that's you haven't played through a dozen times already. They don't have to all end up perfectly in some kind of a relationship, long-term relationship, but it would be nice for something a little bit more unorthodox to be available. It seems like unorthodox, at least in this era, seem to be have a same-sex relationships, and I guess it was in mainstream gaming, so I can't exactly say that it was commonplace or anything. It sort of comes to mind because I actually like Win the most as far as the female companions we have. I don't think Leliana is bad in many ways. Morgan is a terrible person, but I don't think it's a terrible choice either. She has a provocative attitude and dress style, very nice female voicing her. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's sort of a predictable choices too. Thank you for having the courage to continue the fight. I'll be ready when the time comes. No, I don't give up easily.
And that gives me hope.
Anymore.
Have you heard much about the Grey Wardens of old?
Nothing. Alistair knows nothing. I know they soar through the skies on griffins.
Griffins. Alas, that seems to be the only thing people remember from the tales. The mighty flying mounts that bore the Grey Wardens into battle.
That would be a nice thing to see. I think they're sort of at least considered extinct in the current world. But that would sort of increase the impact, would it not? If in a battle against the Darkspawn, you would have an actual Grey Warden or relief forces or reinforcements arrive in the situation with one of them at least flying into the battle on a griffin, because they're thought to be extinct and are such legendary creatures. So that would be an insanely great moral boost. Right, flying right out of a legend into the battle on your side. Yeah, well, I wish I had a griffin.
Unfortunately, they've all passed back into the Maker's hand. So that wish will have to go unfulfilled. It was said that watching the Wardens ride in on their white griffins was enough to rouse a weary heart and put the dance back in the step of an old man. The Grey Wardens were powerful, feared and respected, but they also inspired the common people. I remember a tale that was told to me many years ago.
I sort of wish there was some kind of storyline like that. I mean, involving the Grey Wardens. And the Blight. Okay, you remember the tale. Go on.
The Blight had ravaged the land for months, and the armies of the great kings had amassed for one last stand. as the sun burst through the clouds that boiled and churned in the dark sky above. It illuminated a vast, seething horde of darkspawn, with the archdemon at its head. And it was then, when courage seemed to fail, and all lost to death and despair, that the Grey Wardens came. They arrived with the beating of wings like mighty war drums, and stood before the armies of men.
Yeah, that's not sound strategy. Why not flank the Darkspawn? Because it's a story, and stories aren't exactly realistic or sensible. They're trying to make a point, and the details are there to serve that point. So, what happened then?
The Grey Wardens, grim and fearless, marched forth, ever between the men and the encroaching Darkspawn. They formed a shield of their own bodies and held that line until the archdemon was dead, and the last Darkspawn lay trampled in the dirt. And then, demanding neither reward nor recognition for their sacrifice, the Grey Wardens departed. When the clouds finally rolled back, and the sun shone full upon the blighted ground, the great kings knew that they had lost no men, and none of their blood had been spilled.
It's a story. It's there to make a point, it's not realistic. Okay, when did this happen? It didn't.
This is a tale about no battle the Grey Wardens have fought, and yet about them all. They have always defended us from the Darkspawn, taking losses so we do not have to. People may have forgotten over the centuries, but nothing has changed. This knowledge has been blessing and burden to Grey Wardens past, and now it shall be your blessing and your burden.
Anything else?
What's on your mind?
As a Grey Warden, I'll never lead a normal life, will I?
No, you won't.
I could try, but it wouldn't work. It would work for a time, but...
No, it wouldn't, would it? Being a Grey Warden is in your blood now. You can't escape it. You wonder sometimes, don't you? If your life would be better if you weren't who you are.
A little, but very little. I like my life generally, but who doesn't? It's probably a very safe thing to do.
When I was a young woman in the tower, I came to the realization that the circle would be my life, and I would know no other. Family, love, a simple life. These were things that others took for granted, that I would never have.
I think I know where she's going with that. It's that discontent towards your life is at least partly because you have not accepted your part in it. Once you accept that, you can actually achieve a lot more happiness in your life.
It made me very moody. All I could think of was being trapped in that tower with no way out and no end in sight. I started hating my life and myself, and one night I found myself in the tower's chapel. I was seeking refuge, maybe answers.
It's hard to imagine you as a moody youth.
Well, I was. Dreadfully morose. Surly. Anyway, where was I? Ah, yes, the chapel. I must have looked tearful or made some noise, because the revered mother came out and decided to speak to me. And because I had no one else to talk to, I talked to her. I must have said many silly things, but she told me that the Maker puts us all on our paths for a reason, and fighting our intended course is what causes so much anguish.
I don't think only the weak accept their fates. I don't think that misses the point somewhat. You don't have to accept the limit someone else poses on you necessarily, but you have to accept the reality and the realistic limit of your life. You can achieve, you're much happier that way than trying to constantly focus on that which you don't have, which you are missing, what you aren't probably ever going to experience or achieve. I think she is mostly right. That fighting our intended course is what causes us so much anguish.
I thought the old biddy was full of rubbish. I was 15, maybe 16, and I knew everything. So I left, but I always found my way back to that chapel. And as the years passed, I began to see the truth of her words. We were supposed to be polar opposites, mage and priest. But we weren't. There was much about us that was the same.
Priests have to choose to be priests, mages don't.
Not all priests choose their path. Some children are given to the chantry to raise and become initiates. The revered mother had lived in the chantry all her life, as I had been in the tower for all of mine. She taught me that you can find your family in the people around you, that you can love your work and find fulfillment in duty. And there is joy even in self-sacrifice. If you put others before yourself, then their well-being is yours, and their happiness is your happiness.
Would you hate me if I said you were full of rubbish?
No, I wouldn't. As I mentioned, I once thought the same thing of someone else. You can scream and cry and be angry about life as a Grey Warden. Or you can accept it and allow yourself to see the good in it. This is your choice.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
What's on your mind?
Okay, I'd like to ask you something about the circle. The options with Win have taken quite a bit of time, much longer than I suspected. So I'd like to also walk through the path fully with her. After this, I'll maybe... Well, I'm going to end after this no matter what. We'll have to do a little bit of inventory management, basically upgrade equipment with the ones we have in storage for everyone, maybe do level ups on everyone, and then just dump all the extra equipment and go to Redcliffe. But for now, I'd like to ask you something about the circle.
I will answer to the best of my ability.
I think I've talked about this earlier. Oh, maybe not this. Why didn't you want to stay at the tower?
The circle is in good hands. Irving knows what to do, and he doesn't need me underfoot. For now, I will support those that battle the Darkspawn. I do feel I left things unfinished in Ostagar. There is so much left to do, and I would be part of it.
I think we've talked about this already, so I'm glad for your company.
The Grey Wardens, all 2 of you, need all the help you can get. I will see this through to the bitter end, and after that, If I am still left standing, then I will return to the circle.
Wanted to make sure you really wanted this.
No, of course I don't. I'm old and unsure of what I'm doing. Actually, I'd rather be in a warm chair in the sun, being served pudding or some other easily digestible food.
I was just asking questions. Okay, well, that can be arranged.
Well, get on it then, and make sure there's a blanket in my chair, and that it's soft, and that the pudding doesn't have cream on it. Cream gives me gas.
Yeah, I think we'll end things here. Yeah, we have open capacity quite a lot, but there's still empty slots. Some of the equipment is frankly terrible. I wouldn't even bother picking this trash up at this point. And we are going to have at least Alistair as a new guy after a very long bit of exploration. So his equipment is probably out of date. And yeah. Tier 3 items, I think the normal equipment at this point is something closer to what? Tier 7, Tier 5 at the minimum. Yeah, Tier 7, Tier 6, Tier 6, Tier 6, yeah. Tier 5 or 6 probably as a standard, and a few Tier 7 items. So what Alistair has simply isn't good enough. The Templar armor is good, but thanks to those enchantments, 20% spell resistance, but that's it. So, but I'll do the management quickly in next time, and then we'll head to Redcliffe.